I'm Kamerie Gibson. Welcome to the Kamerie Gibson Show, the podcast. I believe that one of the most precious gifts you can share with someone is your story. Pain has purpose and stories can change lives. Your journey to become more inspired and transformed by the lives of those around us starts now. And well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Kamerie Gibson Show, where we talk about transforming our pain into power. And today I have a beautiful special guest with me here today. His name is Tre'von. And if you don't mind introducing yourself to the audience for me, please.
So, first of all, I hope y'all having a great week so far. My name is Tre'von Fred. I'm going to give y'all the middle name. It's not necessary. 23 years old, black man, artist, creative, student, brother, son, friend, boyfriend, companion, just a man looking to do better for himself and his community.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's basically it. It's basically, I could go on and on and on, but you'll get it through the course of the conversation.
Yeah, so just to give the audience some context on how me and Tre'von know each other, we actually were working at the same job last summer. So it's this cafe in Leimert Park, and it's a vegan cafe. It's Black owned. Yeah, and I just remember like working there. A lot of the people that worked at Hot and Cool Cafe kind of were similar, and like I just felt like everybody was just special in their own way, and everybody had something to like offer to one another, and everyone seemed to be like proud to be Black and wanted to just press that forward by working there. So could you talk about how you found Hot and Cool Cafe?
All right, so I found Hot and Cool Cafe not long after I came to LA. But the interesting thing is, before moving to LA or even being in this country, I knew about Leimert Park. Like, cause I try my best to be really in tune with what the diaspora does, because like I care about my people and what we have going on worldwide, because I see it as part of my mission to unite us, really. So I knew about Leimert. I didn't know about the cafe though, and we was really transitioning into making a decision. Me and Kimante, that we wanted to stay in LA, and we were looking for a job, and we just so happened to come in Leimert. He was with his girlfriend, and I was third wheeling on that day. But we came to Leimert, and we were just chilling on the other side of the street, in the car. And I got out. I was like, look, we here. We got to make shit shake. And the first thing we need to be looking for is employment, because we need bread. We need money. So I got out the car, walked across the street, walked in the cafe, went straight up to the counter. I saw I saw Dexter. And I was like, y'all hiring? He was like, oh, yeah, perfect timing. Went, spoke to Shauna, came the next day, got the job.
Wow. Yeah, I love Shauna and Dexter, man.
Yeah.
Dexter, really good people. I love just that space. Just really, Tony. I know Demetria was one of my favorite women there. Very sweet, very helpful. But yeah, why was it so valuable that you found that space and that you connected with your people?
It's valuable because I see us as a people, or one of the issues I see personally with us is we outsource a lot. We don't ever really lean on each other in a positive light. It's either is from a point of exploitation, which is systematic, or there's no involvement at all. And if you want to see your people elevate, you have to kind of invest into your people. And the biggest thing you can invest into your people is your time, for real.
You said your time?
Yep, your time. Your time is the most valuable thing you can invest into your people. And as in being employed at a Black-owned business, it shows that,
That makes total sense. I've always found that when I interned or worked for different Black companies or Black businesses, I was given something extra on top of that paycheck or stipend, whether it was like a lesson, maybe they were preaching to me, maybe it was just giving me some love and like a listening ear, but only like they would understand and be able to empathize with what I was going through. So I definitely see what you're talking about. When I met you, I didn't know that your family was from another country. Could you talk about what it's like being in the U.S.?
First
Um,
generation.
hmm
Being first generation is some shit. Let me tell you that, because like I have other family members like in the country, across the country. But as far as like my direct household, I am first generation, so I still do consider myself first generation because I'm here paving a path for myself.
hmm
I'm here paving a path for like my lineage and my family that I'm gonna father. So being first generation is it's a challenge, yo. It's a challenge because you have the responsibility of building a foundation, and you have to live your life knowing that the decisions you make right now are going to impact generations moving forward. You have to get up every day knowing that, yo, I'm 23, I want to enjoy life, but you have a unspoken responsibility.
hmm
um
What What was your purpose for leaving home?
my purpose for leaving home is I come from a place that's very, very black, like very, very black. And you may be like, why would you, with your mindset, want to leave a place like that? Because you can only grow so much in a place when that's the only thing you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only grow so much in a place when that's the only thing you know. And if you want more for yourself, you have to explore. If you if
hmm
you if you really want more out of life, you gotta leave where you from, honestly, especially as a man. You also you're gonna become content, you're gonna become comfortable, and you're not gonna advance. And where I come from, just like most places, I'm not gonna make it seem like it's that much different than any other concentrated black community, but there tends to be a crab in a barrel mentality that you gotta get out of. Like, or else it's gonna eat you up. It's gonna suck you in. It's going to kill you. Not
hmm
literally, and I don't want to say that. Granted, what's happening is use that word loosely, but it's going to kill you. It's going to kill your spirit. So I had to get out of there, and it happened at a young age. Like, I left home at 17. I left my islands at 17. So I had like first hand experience with the world real quickly. Another reason I left is at the time I played sports. Like, I was an athlete. I was a basketball player, and that was a part of me wanting to pursue more. And that's the vehicle it was being filtered through at the time. Sports.
mm
Granted, no, I don't hoop no more because I didn't really see much purpose in it after a certain point. But there are other things, like the mission still is what it is, but like the vehicle is being translated or transported through exchange.
What has helped you get accustomed to the differences that are here in Los Angeles?
I feel at home in LA, honestly. I feel at home in LA because one thing is, regardless of what people want to say about like LA and the fact that it's a very, very diverse place. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own pockets. LA is very black, bro. It's black. LA is black as hell, and I love that. I love the fact that people here, there's this undertone of pride that people have, even though it could get hectic. There's this undertone of pride that people have here that you can't deny. You gotta appreciate it, especially in places like Lamar, places like Inglewood. Like, it's there. So I
hmm
don't I don't feel much out of place. Like, I feel just near as home as I was at home. But in
Yeah.
terms of like the life stuff, having to deal with certain cultural differences that are not specific to LA, but to this country at large, like certain people be more sensitive. Like, I come from the Caribbean, the Virgin Islands to be specific. Like, we don't hold our tongues. We don't hold our tongues on stuff. Like, if this is what it is, I'm gonna tell you that's what it is. If this is how I'm feeling, I'm gonna tell you how I'm feeling. And that's the way I was raised. That's the way I was taught to go through life, because you can't achieve yourself in fullness being half of yourself to other people. You're doing a disservice to you and a disservice to them. And that's something I've had to understand, that everybody don't come from that same school of thought. Everybody don't see the world that way.
I remember when I first met you too, you came off very like direct, and I just wasn't used to men being like that either. So I'm very direct. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, like, let me listen to what he's saying then, because he's standing on something for a reason. And I just wanted to point that out, that I noticed that about you like early on. So with you saying that LA feels like home and it feels pretty Black to you, how does it feel when you hear news stories about like what recently happened with PNB Rock being killed at Roscoe's yesterday?
What? Well, and first of all, for that situation, I want to say, like, prayers to his family, prayers to his loved ones. You know what I'm saying? The people around that love, bro, and not just the wider public that see it, and because he's a popular person. Sadly, it happens to us every day, and it's something that's part of a greater issue, and it's unfortunate that had to take someone that's valued in the public eye for us to speak about it for real. But what I gotta say about that situation is, one, we gotta be mindful that these micro situations are a part of a larger issue, and not allow our emotions to just be invested in the moment, but what's really happening there. Because I'm aware of the area over there where this happened. Like, I'm only a year into LA, but I'm aware of the area over there. I've been over there. I'm like, okay, you gotta watch your back everywhere you go, right? No matter if you're in Beverly Hills, Inglewood, Hawthorne, Compton, no matter where you are. You could be up in Ventura. You gotta be aware of your surroundings, right? Yeah. You're probably like, how the hell you know these places? You ain't even been here. But right, you gotta be aware of your surroundings. And unfortunately, it was just one of them times when bro couldn't control the situation, and people was out. People was out for something. I will expand from that to say that the fact that situations like this happen shows that there's something that has to be said for the economy. Like, I need like the hella big political person, but this is why places like Leimert is important, because I promise you, if funds were placed in areas like that, situations like this would decrease. Like, it will still happen. There's gonna be shiesty people. Unfortunately, there's gonna be shiesty people. There's gonna be people who don't think they gotta work as hard as the next man to acquire what the next man acquired, right? But it's an economic thing for real. At the end of the day,
is that what it is to you though? Like, is that when you think of? I mean, you're a man. When you think of other people that operate around you, what can you talk more about that jealousy or that envious mentality that some men may like struggle with?
with other men being jealous, I think that's a big weakness. That's a big weakness. There's a certain level of emotion that men, like us as men, as black men, gotta be allowed to show and be able to deal with. I'm not saying we should cut off our emotions, but they should be managed. And you being jealous as a man and wanting to take another man's life for it, like going to that extent, I think is weak. For real, I think it's weak, and it shows imbalance. right? That's what I gotta say. In terms of people being jealous around you, it's insecurity. Like that's insecurity. People do their best to cover it up and hide it and make it seem like it's something else. But if you gotta be in a room and you gotta speak the loudest to make your presence known, it's an insecurity. It's a
Yeah.
big insecurity. That's how I feel about that specifically.
Yeah. How would you define manhood for yourself at 23 years old, being a
I
young
would
man?
I would define manhood as endurance. Number one is endurance, the ability to withstand what the world's going to throw at you, because the world's going to throw some shit at you, right? What in whatever class, whatever you in, is going to throw some shit at you. And I'm talking specifically about black men. Like I'm not the one to go. And I can only speak on my experience for real, and really that's what I'm focused on.
Mm-hmm.
Endurance is number one. Two is discipline. The ability to not get caught up in the fact that damn, she's beautiful. The ability to be like, damn, that looked like I need it. This party looked indulgent. This decision that could very well change the way I live for the next week. Fuck next year, next month, the next week. Is this something that I really need to indulge in? So discipline. That's
What
two.
were some of the biggest struggles you had to overcome when it came to discipline?
I call accountability. Like I had to keep myself accountable and be
Mm.
disciplined along that, because you can be accountable. Yeah, you can be accountable for a minute and be like, okay, that was not the best thing to do. But you have to keep a certain boundary there. And I see discipline as a boundary. You have to keep a certain boundary there to be like, okay, I know that wasn't probably the best decision, and I'm just generalizing. Like I guess very specific with you, but before I go into there, I don't want to just right. I want to start as like discipline is a boundary, and you got to be accountable, and then hold yourself there. So you got to be disciplined. Um, Another thing is for me growing up, huh?
So those are good ones.
Yeah, for I thank you, appreciate it. For me, at 23, prior to like being in like the space I'm in now, which is beautiful, in terms of being in a relationships and things of that sort. As a man, it's especially for me, you got like I would say one of my things is it was women. Like I'm gonna keep it a beat. Like you gotta not scratch the itch sometimes. You gotta not scratch the itch sometimes. You gotta just let it be and understand that there's better things to do with your time, right? There's because for a moment stuff may feel like bliss, but you still gotta get up and go outside indoors and deal with the world again.
That's so true. I remember
Yeah.
we were talking about relationships. We were like talking about just I can't remember, but it just got really like I don't know, like serious. What you're 23, so it's just I'm
Go ahead.
25, so I'm just thinking about I was in a whole relationship, I think at 23. Like I thought I was gonna be married, I was
Mm-hmm.
in love with somebody. What what are you learning about women right now?
I'm learning that women are a never ending stream of lessons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
You don't know us. You'll never really understand us fully.
but
Yeah.
it's beautiful though. I love the certain uncertainty for real. I love the ability that y'all have to to challenge me, to challenge me as a man, not in a sense of making me question myself, but
Mm,
encouraging me to reflect, encouraging me to be like, yo, I know you say you're capable of leading me. I know you say you're capable of protecting me. I know you say you're capable of setting a foundation for me to be able to be myself to assist you in what you have to achieve, and vice versa. But you got to keep working for that, though.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep working for that. I don't need you to. I don't need you to be it and show me it right now. I need you to exceed it, and not for me, for yourself.
Yeah. Did you have your mom and your dad together? Like, were they married?
Mm. No, I didn't. My mother and my father are married, but my mother is married to my stepfather. So I did grow up seeing a loving black relationship. I mean, you know that everybody got their own little workarounds and things that they had to deal with, you know, as a unit together. But I definitely saw some loyalty, some companionship, like some structure. I saw that.
Yeah. So having that and then being around different African Americans now, having different friends who I'm assuming maybe African American for you,
Mm.
how do you go about supporting them with that base that you have?
How do I go about, say that one more time?
Supporting them.
Supporting them in terms
With them maybe I'm sorry, African American men not having their fathers is the majority statistic,
of right,
especially out here in
right.
United States. So how do you go about supporting your friends with
I
those
go about
situations?
I go about supporting my friends by relating, because though I had my stepfather around, as the stepfather, there's only so much he could teach, right? Like, he's a man, but there's only so much he could teach. So I'm still understanding of the fact that, yo, for the brothers that didn't have their father around, like, I can understand it. I can definitely understand it, because I'm just now at 23 really getting to grow a relationship with my father, right? And that's because I'm a man now. We gotta see like, hey, yo, big dog, like, this is where I'm at, and we can speak about this shit now because I'm experiencing it. So for them, I go about supporting them by letting them know, like, yo, you're not alone, bro. You're not alone, and it's not something that was in your control if your father wasn't there. But what you got to do now is knowing what it is to be without. Don't allow your offspring to be without. I go about supporting them by letting them know that I'm here for you. Like, the lessons that I might have learned that you might not have been fortunate enough to learn. Unfortunately, I'm gonna tell you what I know. I'm gonna let you know what game I got. I'm gonna let you know what experiences I picked up on, and I'm gonna let you know the downsides of it too. I'm gonna let you know the fact that, hey, bro, the fact that you had to grow up a little bit more than some people who had a father figure around might have had to, has its benefits. It does. Like, there's good and bad with both sides of that coin. And even for me, even though I had that father figure around, before he came around, because he wasn't there my whole life. Like, he came early on, but there's, in a short space of time as a young man, there's some growing that's gonna have to happen if there's no father figure there. So I'm in a very interesting place where I'm still able to relate.
Yeah. What advice would you give to people who are thinking about taking that leap of faith and leaving the nest, who may be scared? It's a whole new country, maybe a whole new state, a whole new place, and they don't know how they're gonna make it, but they know they have to leave in order to grow, like you said earlier.
Advice, I would say, but it's a lot. It's a lot I could say, but trust in yourself, because it's a very strong chance you're gonna wake up tomorrow with another opportunity. That's
Hmm.
and everything is for the moment, bro. You might you gonna come here, you might have to You make some friends. You might have to chill on the homie couch for a little bit and stack your bread, but it's not gonna be forever. Don't worry about what the media talking about, but you gotta be 19 with 25K in savings. Bro, this is all a journey. It is all a journey, and you gotta first and foremost, you gotta be doing it for you. You can't be doing
Mm-hmm.
it for people at home. You can't be doing it for the people you come here. You may want to impress. You can't be doing it for anything else before doing it for yourself. And also, I say this to people a lot. I'm not a person that really deals with fear like that because I understand at the end of this life I'm gonna die, right? I'm gonna die. Like that's inevitable. So I don't run from uncertainty. I don't run from hardships. I don't run from it because I'm gonna get through it. Oh, I'm not going to. And either way, the destiny is gonna be there. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just me. I would say fuck fear, bro. Honestly, keep fear over there somewhere. Keep fear over there somewhere, or use it to fuel you. But don't let it be a crutch.
Right.
Don't let it be a kryptonite. That's what I would say.
What would you tell the younger Trey?
I would tell the younger Trey, keep being yourself and don't allow the world to alter you in any way. Because there was a small period of time where I kind of allowed the world to kind of tell me who I should be, just a little bit, and it didn't really affect me that much because like I said, that accountability hit. I was like, bro, what you doing? What are you doing? But yeah, you'll tell the younger shit, bro, be yourself. Be yourself. Shut the noise out because you gotta live this. You gotta live with these decisions that you're making. If they say to do this, they say to do that. You the person that gotta do it and deal with the consequences, whether it be positive or negative. So do it because you want to do it, and don't allow the world to change you.
When you turned 18 and you were done with high school, what made you choose to work or to not go to college?
So actually, what happened is I actually finished high school a little bit later than that because I stopped. So
Mm.
at 17, I came here. I did a year of high school. I made 18 back home because I left and went back home because I had a disagreement with my family that I was, you know what I'm saying, my family that I was here with at the time. So when I came at 17, I was staying with my grandmother and my father's mother, but I had no prior knowledge of them. So it was kind of like I was living with strangers in a sense. And I was still really maneuvering this shit. Like I had a place to lay my head and I was going to high school, but it's like, yo, you're an American. You got to figure it out. Like you got a place to sleep. We're going to feed you and all that, but you got to deal with the world outside. Nobody can deal with the world outside for you but you.
Mm-hmm.
Had my differences with them because of religion. At the time I was practicing Sunni Islam. I converted to Islam at the age of 17 due to, not really accepting at that time what I saw is just colonial. That's a colonial mindset. I was like, why are we Christian? Like looking
Mm-hmm.
at what was done to, and I'm a rebellious ass man. That's true for you. I'm a rebellious man.
Mm-hmm.
So
That Leo
converting,
energy.
yeah, I converted to Sunni Islam, and I was living in a house full of Pentecostal Christians. Ain't finna work. It's not gonna work. So at that time, it was not gonna work because I was not budging, and they weren't budging. I was being forced into church every Sunday, and around the time that I was went back home, right, due to us having our differences, it was dead center of Ramadan. So I went back home, and I spent a year just soul searching, figuring myself out. I was like, okay, so from birth to 17, making 18, I've done things everybody else's way. I was like, okay, cool. You see me as a child. The notion is you're supposed to go to school, graduate, as you say, get a job or go to college. I was like, but who said I want to do that? So, so I stopped school for a year, right? Really wasn't working like that. Really was just more on the creative tip, doing hella reading, hella research, interacting with nature as it is. Like, this sounds like some real yogi shit, but this is what I was on. I was outside, staying up for days, like days at a time, reading, meditating, interacting with the water. Because I come from my LA, and that's something that people don't do. Like, you understand, water is like the source of life for real.
Yeah.
Like, there was a point in time I went through looking at water as probably what we see God as for real. There was a little time because there's nothing that survives without water. Water is a component in everything. So I kind of see that as a mirror of God, and I don't know where people are at, with that perspective, but that's how I was seeing it.
I like that.
Yeah, and then I came back to this country a year later, so I took a year off, kind of detached from the quote unquote matrix, as people always call it. Came back here, and then I went to school. All right, so I graduated at making 20. And after that, then I went to college. I went to junior college for a couple months. And the only reason I was really going to junior college because basketball. But that was during COVID. And that season got canceled. Couldn't play. I was there telling myself I'm there because I want to do journalism because I'm a good writer. And I was I'm really, really good with words. Like, I ain't gonna front. So like I kind of fooled myself to be like, all right, journalism. But ultimately, all I really wanted to do was play basketball. But the writing was still there. It's a passion as well. But since that couldn't shake, and I had a altercation, I'm saying, let's say a slight altercation with the folks I was staying with at that time, who some at the past I would have considered family, but everybody ain't family, bro. That's something we got to come to realization of. Everybody is not family, especially when you staying with people. That's not how it goes. So I left there, and I was working. I was kind of like working for a place to stay for real in Carolina where I live, and eventually me and who Kimante connected through socials. You know what I'm saying? Built a relationship. He was like, "Hey, bro," and then let's go to LA, right? Let's go on a little trip to LA. Me, him, and two other people. We came to LA for a week. The plan was to come for a week. Come network, because I'm an artist as well. Come network, just travel, expand our minds. And once I got here, like 3 days into the trip, I was like, I'm not leaving. Right? Call mother, grandmother, everybody was like, "Oh, when you coming back to the site where we know you were?" I was like, "I ain't coming back. What I'm coming back for? I want to be here, and I'm not. I'm not leaving right now." So that goes back to that: leave fear alone, just because it's gonna work. And if it don't work, you're gonna make it work.
How has your rebellious attitude and curiosity isolated you?
Is isolating me because, in the sense of, some people don't like uncertainty, but I think uncertainty is beautiful for real because it can lead you in places you never expected if you allow it to. Like, when people talk about uncertainty, they just look at uncertainty as, how can this go wrong? How about how could this go right? How could this go better than you expected?
Mm.
I don't like, yeah, I don't like to look at the world and all that it offers, and limit it to other people's experiences, or things of the past, or what is the norm, because the norm is only the norm because that's what we settled on. What I'm gonna settle for? Why would I settle?
Right. how would you say your music, creating music, has empowered you as a human?
Creating music has empowered me because not only do I have an outlet to give a message and also show who I am as a person, but the goal beyond that is to empower others, empower my people, empower other black men, black women, black children, black mainly. That's really, yeah, that's really what the music comes down to for me. Cause yeah, I would definitely want to profit off my art. I would love to live off of creating. Ultimately, keep it a bean. I'm not gonna cap about that. But beyond that, I want I want it to be what art is supposed to be in my eyes, and it's supposed to be the the literature or the narrative for where we are as a people or where we should be. Like when I think about music and artists, I think about people like Fela. Fela is my favorite artist of all time, and his music is I don't know how to describe it other than say is mm, this is one time I don't know what word to use, but if you ever listen to Fela Kuti,
Mm-mm, no,
you know who that is? No,
no. I'm gonna
people
listen
call him
now.
the yeah, people call him the father of Afrobeat.
Wow,
Yeah,
definitely
but
gotta look him up.
his music, yeah, his music was like very much based in the African diaspora and unifying us. It was
Mm,
based in you African, I'm African, they African. What are we doing together? How are we gonna
mm,
better ourselves? And that's the same lane I'm trying to walk. And I'm not gonna walk that lane and keep out the fact that I'm a 23-year-old young black man. You're gonna get this real. You're gonna get me expressing the emotions I express. You're gonna get me speaking about life or the way I see life as it is. You're gonna get that, but ultimately, it's for something greater. And I think as long as I keep that at the forefront, it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to,
I
and not
love
just
that. I just was. Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like, I love that what you're saying. Like, it's making me think about what hip hop has meant to our culture, to black men, and how it originally began. It was supposed to be that, like you said, this expression of this is who I am, this is who you are. Like you said, we're gonna be heard. Y'all are gonna get this. Didn't mean to cut you off, but that's what I was thinking about when you said that.
it's good. It's all right.
I like that. But what do you know your purpose to be here on this earth? If something were to happen to you soon, what do you know like you have to get done before you go?
Mm. Plenty things, plenty things, plenty things. But everything in my power to connect us. Everything in my power to make the the 12-year-old boy, black boy from the Eritrea, understand that he ain't no different from the 23-year-old black man in LA from the Virgin Islands. That he can see himself in the 40-year-old black man from Guatemala, and to understand that he is facing the same thing as the 60-year-old man in the Congo. Like I have to I have to, and this is not I want to. I have to. I have to make us aware of our oneness. If I could do that, I could sleep peacefully.